Hi guys, this is Eclipse here, and today we're going to be looking at quickscoping, or as my brother Thane likes to put it, close quarter sniping. And today I'm going to be walking you through how you can quickly and easily pick up quickscoping. First I'll be showing you off some of the drills that you can do off the battlefield and on the test range to hone your skills. And then we'll move on to the weapons that I think are best to get you into quickscoping and the attachments that really help you out in battle. Then we'll move on to the damage that can be done to enemies in close quarters. Then I'll walk you through what to do in certain situations to push as a sniper on the battlefield and how to take on multiple enemies at the same time. But first off, we'll start with our weapons. I've chosen you two weapons here, one which is the M40A5 and the RFB. Now for me it'll always be the single shot bolt action with its minimum damage of 59 versus the RFB with a minimum damage of 30. With the RFB you're going to need to get 3 shots, if not more, if you're hitting that minimum damage all the time to take him down, whereas with your M40A5 you're only going to need to get 2 shots, and I always find your M40A5 to be much more stable in battle and really be able to shoot off those shots and accurately get them on target. For every weapon you're going to need a scope, and I've put this into 3 little categories for you. I've put your non-magnification for really close quarters, your 4x and your 3.4 magnification for a bit of close range to medium, and then your rifle scope which has a magnification of 8, which I'd always recommend with cat and iron sights for really long range encounters. Now here we show you the scopes in action. Here's the 32 range and the 53, and then we're going to move on to your 79 and then your 113, but I would only ever try and encounter people at your 32 or your 53. I would never really go up to 79 in a close quarter combat because it really just isn't applicable, even though on your Operation Locker you are going to get those really long running strips around the outside and the snow part, but even then still you never really want to encounter anybody with a holographic scope. You always want to try and keep it nice at the 32 range. Next we're going to be moving on to the M145, which I just really loved for your close to medium range encounters. I used to love using this on Battlefield 3 and it still remains one of my great favourites in Battlefield 4 for your close to medium range encounters. Now next we're going to be moving on to the 8x scope. Now I know what you're thinking, on a close quarter guide an 8x scope is kind of ridiculous really, but as you might find out, if you do use it with a canted scope, you will be using and swapping from each one, and with the 8x scope you can really look deep into the room and try and spot somebody out from a really good location. But if you're using this on Operation Locker as well, you're really going to be able to look across the whole map and really pick people off from long ranges. Now here we show me using the canted iron sights. Now I would use these with most ones that would go above maybe 6x scope. You could have this to use as your really close one, and you can even get really long range targets if you're only going to use this, but I would suggest one of your reflex scopes or your holographics as a great substitute. Now here we just have a quick clip of me using the RFB. I don't prefer this because I don't find it as stable or as accurate in battle, but if you are dedicated to going the semi-automatic way, this will be it. Now over here we have the barrel launcher. Now this is just a great way to get in a bit of good practice for aiming a little bit before the barrels and really predicting the motion of which they're going to fly at. This is a great way to just hone your skills, not worry about getting killed or anything like this. This is just one of those nice little drills which you can walk yourselves through, and you have to take this at your own pace. It doesn't matter if you don't get both the barrels, you just take one, and if you miss it you can keep on going. It doesn't affect any of your stats on your battle log. You can just keep on doing this until you feel very comfortable that you're able to take out targets well. Now here I'm only using an iron sights, but you can use whichever scope you feel comfortable with using. Now here I've lined up a few shots of me getting an 88, even a 93, and then a 98 damage kill assist. Now this is really just trying to hone into you how important it is to get very practiced in getting headshots. And maybe even taking the risk of, if he's already been in a firefight and he's already took a damage, getting one of those body shots because it's so easy to hit. Now here I'll show the prime example of why the bolt action rifle is better over the semi-automatic. I hit him now the first time, and then I hit him again, getting that second kill with the chest shot. And that's really just to show you that if you have the semi-automatic you wouldn't be able to get that shot. Now, one of the most important things when you're playing as a close quarter sniper is not to lose your cool. When you're losing your cool, you may become very jaggedy with your actions and your mouse. You just have to remain nice and calm. Nobody's really pushing you. I've lined up these few shots where I've just nicely taken my time and I've been able to get that headshot. You have to remember that if you put the time and effort in of practicing on the test range, you're going to be easily taking off these people because you already know the range at which your rifle works. Once you have your aiming down, you're then able to choose which sniper you want to be. For me, I'm always going to be a semi-aggressive sniper, which I will then bound between which one, and depending of the situation, I will either choose to be a very recluse one, of hanging just at the back of everybody, and then nicely just seeing all the way through with an 8x scope, or maybe I'll just put on an iron sight or a reflex, and then I'll just charge in there like a madman, being a very aggressive sniper, because I have this bolt action rifle, of which if they've already taken damage, I can easily pick them off with one bullet, even before they've fired anything. As you'll be able to see throughout this whole video, I'll be swapping out my different attachments and different scopes depending on the situation of we're in. It just really shows how versatile the sniper can be. In this video that I'm showing you at the moment, we're trying to attack and push through into B, but we're having quite a lot of counter forces coming towards us, and we're just trying to hold them off as more and more of them push in. And as this happens, you're going to just need to try and fire it and hit as many people as you can so they feel wary about them stepping out of line and getting into the line of fire. As you see in here, I get taken down, but by the time that's happened, 4 of my teammates have now moved in, and we've done really well as a team just to attack that B point and take it down. Now here, I'm just trying to show you that even if you do have an 8x scope, you can still use that iron sights to get around these tight corners that you have that can be choke points in the map, just like on Metro. Now that last video, this video, and a few more videos to come are just going to be situational videos where I tell you what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. On this video, I'm trying to push forwards into E from D. Now I'm noticing these bullets come to me. I'm just going to peek my little head out and try and take off these guys. As they're getting more shots onto me and I can see more people there, I'm just going to pull a little bit back, try and get in a little bit more of a safety cover as we have more of our teammates trying to push through this way as well. I'm getting a few kill assists on this as well, and I'm just pulling a little bit further back as more teammates come in. But as more teammates have come in, I've now noticed the downside of this. We all now have all of our attacking force on this one hallway, of which there is now 5 of us, and I've noticed now just the skull coming down on the right of the minimap. I've thrown in a grenade and a pokeball, which is one of these little recon balls of which will tell you the location of where enemies are. Now it's popped up on the minimap that nobody's really pushing in from that side, so I'm going to push down here with all of my allies, which have now nicely pushed and encroached their way well into getting E, and I'm just going to look in with my 8x scope, really try and get deeply into the rooms and pick off those people that are standing out. In this situation, which I'm showing you now, it's now become a little bit like Operation Metro, where all avenues that we're trying to push down are then being instantly encountered by enemies, and we're not really pushing forwards. We've come to a bit of stalemates, and in those times you think to yourself, how the hell am I going to still get kills without getting into the main firing range, where I'm just going to get absolutely blitzed as a bolt action rifle sniper, which I'm not going to be able to take anybody out because I'm going to get suppressed before I can even get shots. So I'm noticing one of our teammates got killed by this door, and I'm pulling back, and I figured out that my iron sights wasn't really cutting it. I changed out to my 8x scope, and now I'm picking off guys and trying to defend that area while the rest of our allies pull back and are now trying to attack this and defend this point with me as well. We've all seen it before. When you're outside in the operation locker and you're in the snowy blizzards and you're trying to pick people off with snipers, it can be so hard and so frustrating sometimes to try and pick off those enemies from these long ranges. With this, I can say no other words than you just have to practice. This can be one of the hardest tests of you being a sniper. And as a sniper myself, I've chosen a 4x scope here, and I'm finding it pretty tough to take off those people from such long range, because I've gone from the inside of the locker room, and I've come out here, encroached myself into these tight little spaces, and now I'm trying to take people out from long range. You can still do it. This is living proof, this footage, that you can still do it, but it can be amazingly hard sometimes, and frustrating to get those shots. Now this is really where your test range practice comes into its own. At this range, you should have practiced many times that you can then take these targets out from such long range. but getting in from the cold into the nice indoors into the kitchen, we then gets blown up. But we've got this amazing opportunity of which we can now see all the way through this amazing long range. And they're coming out of this tiny little door, of which we now have like a first front view of where they're all coming at. And we're just trying to fire off these little rockets. Even though there's so much smoke, you're still able to get off these amazing shots of where you can then pick people off. It's one of these moments where you really have to seize the opportunity and really grasp what's at hand. This wall just got blown out of me. I instantly seized it and tried to get those. In this situation, we're right at the back of the pack. We're really far back, and we're trying to look in with our scope, and we've got a 4x scope here, and we're throwing in our little pokeballs to try and see who we can pop up on the map. And now we're just going to nicely and gently push up with our teammates, and we're going to be throwing another pokeball in there, see whether we can help out any of our teammates, because as a teammate you have to try and help out everybody. And with the sniper recon class, you really do have one of those perfect moments where you can be throwing these pokeballs everywhere and trying to light people up on the little mini-map for your teammates. But as always, you need to get those kills yourself, and we're just nicely looking into the room. We're trying to find whoever we can, and luckily enough you might have a few people popping out, but at the moment we're getting some serious firepower coming down from there. Somebody's silly enough to poke their little head out, and we're being able to aim through these little bars, funnily enough, and pick them off. Oh well guys, that is the end of my tutorial. I hope you guys have really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed making this video, just compiling all of this footage, really just trying to practice up on my quickscoping slash close quarter sniping. It's been really fun, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and through this video you've learned a little bit, you've gone to the test range, you've tried out your own little skills, you've practiced on the battlefield, you now have a bit more informative of which scopes you should be using, and at which ranges you can attack them with it, and I hope you guys have just really enjoyed it. Any of my last final thoughts would be to say that this is you practicing, and with practicing you don't have to worry. This is your first time maybe attacking people with a sniper rifle in close quarters. It's going to be a bit nerve-wracking, but you have to remain calm and cool. But I thought I would line up these last few shots just to leave on a nice bit of a high of me double stabbing these two guys, which I thought this was hilarious, that after I double stabbed these two guys, you'll see one of my teammates just come down and make it a little bit of tea. But as now a recon class, we now have C4, and this can come in some great moments of C4 kills. So this is going to be my final goodbye to you guys, and I hope you guys have really enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, just leave them down below, but this is me just kind of pointing out that they still need to get this counter knife thing fixed. Bye bye guys.